By mid-2025, the story seemed written. Max Verstappen, the four-time world champion, was out of contention. McLaren's Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri dominated the grid, trading victories while Red Bull's RB21 had gone from championship winning machine to what Verstappen described as feeling like a passenger in the car. The paddock whispered. The fans mourned. Even die-hard supporters were preparing for the inevitable. McLaren's first championship in over a decade, and the end of Verstappen's historic winning streak. But champions aren't made when everything goes right. They're forged when everything goes wrong. This is the story of 3 races in 2025 where Max Verstappen didn't just win. He reminded the world why he's considered one of the greatest drivers in Formula One history. Monza, Italy, the awakening. From months of agony to making everyone look stupid. 4 months. That's how long it had been since Max Verstappen stood on the top step of the podium. 8 consecutive races without a victory, his longest drought in years. Meanwhile, McLaren built what seemed like an insurmountable lead. The whispers had turned to pronouncements. The Red Bull era is over. If there was one track where Red Bull looked hopeless in 2024, it was Monza. The previous year, Verstappen qualified 7th and finished 6th, over 30 seconds behind the winner. But something had changed. From Friday practice, Verstappen was genuinely excited about his car for the first time in months. The team had made subtle changes after their disastrous summer. Then came qualifying. In a breathtaking display, Verstappen put his Red Bull on pole position, recording the fastest lap in Formula One history at Monza. McLaren's Norris and Piastri lined up behind him, stunned. Mercedes's Toto Wolff would later say Verstappen made everybody look stupid that weekend. Lights out, and Verstappen and Norris went wheel to wheel into turn 1. Verstappen cut the chicane to avoid contact and gave the position back on lap 2. But by lap 4, he was back in the lead. From that moment, pure magic. He didn't just win, he dominated. Managing tires to perfection, controlling the gap, making every decision with surgical precision. The gap to Norris? Nearly 20 seconds by the checkered flag. It became the fastest race in Formula One history. Verstappen's 66th career victory. His first under new team principal Laurent Mekies after Christian Horner's shocking departure. Emotion clear in his voice.
I mean, honestly, better than expected once I got back into the lead.
After months of struggle, after being written off, Max Verstappen delivered a statement. I'm still here. The victory cut the championship gap to 63 points. Still massive, but for the first time all season, there was hope. Baku, Azerbaijan, the unstoppable force. When chaos struck the championship leader, the hunter showed no mercy. 1 week after Monza, the narrative was shifting. Could Verstappen do it twice in a row, or was Monza just a one-off? The championship gap stood at 94 points behind race leader Oscar Piastri. McLaren were on the verge of clinching the Constructors' Championship. Then qualifying happened. A record-breaking 6 red flags flew as drivers crashed into walls. Among the casualties, championship leader Piastri, who crashed and would start 9th. Through the chaos, Verstappen remained ice-cold. Pole position, almost half a second faster than anyone else. As the lights went out, drama struck. Piastri jumped the start, his anti-stall kicked in, and he dropped to dead last. Then on lap 1, the unthinkable. Piastri crashed into the wall at turn 5. Race over. His first retirement of the season. Up front, Verstappen was already gone. Perfect start. And from that point forward, a masterclass in controlled aggression. While chaos unfolded behind him, Verstappen simply drove away. By the end, over 14 seconds ahead of second place. This weekend has been incredible for us, Verstappen said. The car was working really well, and it was pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. That's what champions make it look like. As Verstappen crossed the finish line, his close friend Martin Garrix waved the checkered flag, A Hollywood moment to cap it off. The championship gap shrunk from 94 points to 69 points in just 2 races. Verstappen had won back-to-back races for the first time all season. The psychological tide was turning. The comeback that everyone said was impossible was suddenly, terrifyingly possible. Austin, USA. The perfect weekend. When perfection meets opportunity, championships change hands. By Austin, the championship picture had transformed completely. Verstappen was still 40 points behind Piastri with only a handful of races remaining. The math was brutal. Verstappen needed to be perfect. This was the weekend where it all came together. Saturday's sprint brought chaos. At turn 1 on the opening lap, McLaren's Piastri and Norris collided with each other, both out before the first corner. 0 points for McLaren, maximum points for Verstappen, who led every lap to victory. Sunday brought the main Grand Prix. Once again, Verstappen started from pole. Norris went wheel-to-wheel into turn 1, but Ferrari's Charles Leclerc slipped past Norris into second place. That decision changed everything. With Leclerc running slower on an alternative strategy, he blocked Norris during the critical opening stint. While Norris was stuck behind the Ferrari, Verstappen was pulling away, building an impossible gap. Today, what was key was that first stint where Charles was basically holding up Lando, Verstappen admitted. That's where I could make my gap. When Leclerc pitted and Norris reclaimed second, it was too late. Verstappen crossed the finish line 8 seconds ahead, completing a perfect weekend. 2 pole positions, 2 victories, every lap led. Verstappen had taken 23 points out of Piastri's lead in one weekend. From 104 points behind 5 races ago to just 40 points back. Red Bull's Laurent Mekies summed it up. We are witnessing something quite extraordinary. The chance is there, Verstappen admitted. It's up to us to be perfect until the end of the season. Austin demonstrated championship mentality under immense pressure. 0 margin for error. Instead, he delivered perfection. 2 races, 2 poles, 2 victories. Not a single lap lost. After Austin, the F1 world confronted a new reality. Max Verstappen was not just back in the title fight, he was the favorite. In 4 consecutive weekends, he had outscored both McLaren drivers. The 104-point gap was now just 40 points. The psychological momentum had completely shifted. McLaren went from confident leaders to a team under pressure, making mistakes, feeling the heat of a champion breathing down their necks. As the 2025 season entered its final races, Max Verstappen's comeback stood as one of the most remarkable in Formula One history. Whether he ultimately won the championship or not, he had proven something more important. True champions are defined not by dominance when everything goes right, but by resilience when everything goes wrong. From 104 points behind and seemingly out of contention, to closing that gap to 40 points through sheer will and determination, Verstappen showed the world what never give up really means. 3 races, 3 stories, 1 lesson. When the car is broken, you fix it. When the championship seems lost, you fight. When everyone says it's impossible, you prove them wrong. That's not just racing. That's the mark of a legend. We probably need a little bit of luck on one round to create a bigger offset, but we're going to give it all. Max Verstappen. And give it all, he did.